Welcome! I'm Colleen Tauke and I'm the sewing specialist for Franz & Porter. In this video tutorial, we are going to talk about the table runner called Charmed, I'm Sure. For the pattern for this project, visit our website. Now, for 15 squares, we can make the great table runner we have behind us. So if you've got a partial pack of 5-inch squares left from a previous project, you've got a table runner in the making. So we're going to pick out the beginnings of just a few of our squares here, and these, since these are the pre-cut, we've now found this wonderful stripe that you can coordinate. A lot of times we stray away from, we tend to shy away from the stripes when we see them in the stores and say, how would I use that? Well, this is a perfect place to pick up one of those stripes and coordinate it with your 5-inch squares. You'll see how the purples and the blues and a little bit of that green pop out in this stripe and play really well with the squares. So what we've done is cut strips from those, from the striped fabric, and we're going to make it into short, almost like piano keys, between each of our squares. So what we're going to do is if you follow your instructions, it'll tell you how many of the short bars to cut, and our layout for our table runner is a square, a bar, square, and keep going in that manner to join 5 of them together for one row. And as you go, remember to stop, go to the iron, press your seams flat, and then press the seam allowance towards the bar in this case. I'll show you 2 rows that I've already partially joined. Now I've just done a short part of the row, otherwise it'd be off the table here. But this is the beginning of row 1. See, I've used sticky dots. It's a great way to stay organized, because a lot of times, even though we're only using 15 squares, you may have laid them out and found the perfect alignment of where you want the colors to pop through your table runner. And so once you've created your rows, you want to be able to put them back in that same exact order. So we've got row 1 and row 2 here, partially constructed. And you'll see that I've joined them block, bar, block, all the way down. Now I've started to add the long strips that you'll see on the table runner behind me that join the 3 rows then together to actually make the entire top. Now if I open this back up, you'll see there's my seam allowance. I've gone in and pressed it flat, and now I want to join row 1 to row 2, but the big thing is I want to make sure that this continues on and jumps across and doesn't shift out of alignment like this when I get done, then not giving me that nice window painting type effect. So what we're going to do is, there's two ways you can do this. The easy way that I like to do is just to lay row 1, the row without the sashing attached yet on top, and you'll see that the row underneath gives us clues to where it needs to be lined up. So when these, and you can feel through, the seam allowances will kind of line up one over the top of the other. The other thing to do is to go in and do just a little bit of math. I'm going to flip this over, and we would mark along the actual long sashing bar. Now, we know that these are 5-inch squares. And if we are to figure out the math, we're going to take away the seam allowance. So 5 minus 1/4 would make it 4 3/4, and we would measure down with a ruler and mark the 4 3/4 line. We know our sashing here finishes to 1 inch, and we would mark the other side of that. So we would mark all the way along by measuring the increments that we want to match up. When we lay this one on top, then those markings, or registration marks that we've created, would line up with our seam allowances, and we would know exactly where to pin things. There are sew easies on our website that you can go to watch another tutorial walking through row alignment or sashing alignment. Okay, so when we've joined these seams together, these 2 sections together, again we're going to press seam allowances toward the sashing bar, and that would then let all the seams rest very gently, and you'll create the table runner Charmed, I'm Sure. Now, the last little fun part of this is that you'll notice the binding on this project is cut on the bias, and that creates that candy striping type of effect on the outer edge. It's a great way to show off a striped fabric. For more of our video tutorials, visit our website. Thanks for joining me in the studio today.